it's about to come on right now. We going hold on.
Indians live proud and free before the oppressor's slavery. Black people live proud and free. How many more? Tell me now. How many more? Don't you stand on the sidelines and say you're not involved. Don't try to convince yourself that these problems don't affect you at all. Because now it's Lebanon, Azania, Grenada. How many more? Tell me now. How many more? Don't you stand on the sidelines and watch your children go off to war. Don't stand back and wait for this violence to come to your door. Because now it's Chile, Guatemala, El Salvador. How many more? Tell me now. How
On your political education. Peace and love, family. This is the U.S. political prisoners and you, and we are the Northeast political prisoners. Tariq Hatton. Today is the 6th of August. Black August is a time we have to commit ourselves to fast, to study, training, to exercising, to doing what is necessary to make the best of ourselves. And our platform is more than just coming on here talking. It's about engaging our community, and that's why the following material we are providing for this Friday in the hours of 5 to 9 p.m. If you happen to be in Harlem, please stop by our table, 310 West 139th Street. I'll be 793936 is the contact number for the Northeast Political Prisoner Coalition. That's one of our contacts. If you got any ideas, any talents that you share, let it hear from you. It's very important that we allow our that we're out in the streets, we're out in the community, we're accessible, because I don't want those who are viewing to think that this is just about is one of the information that we're going to be giving out regarding what's happening in the community. This is it's a very interesting campaign. It's unique. It's a one challenge by Dave Zarin. Donate any signed first edition or otherwise rare book, and we'll send it to raise money for Mumia's Legal Defense Fund. If you're on TikTok and you don't see this image that I put in contact at 347-936 information out before getting the program, because it's very important that this information out, because we want to challenge, take the necessary steps that political prisoners need. A commissary, right? Joy Powell, she's diabetic, she got other ailments happening, and she needs proper nutrition. That is only possible through commissary. So we know that Jamal, he needs funds for his medical issue, he needs funds for his campaign. So let us do our part. So peace and love, family. Brother Tariq Haskins, and this episode we're focusing on George Jackson. George Jackson was one of the 5 children that their parents, him and George Jackson's parents had. He was the youngest. He was George Jackson's younger brother. They had an incredible relationship, incredible bond. George Jackson was going to court because of the soul. He was part of the Soledad brothers. It was three brothers that were being accused of killing a prison guard, and he was part of a defense committee along with Angela Davis. And in his role in this defense committee was to write, and he took his role very seriously, and he was very much committed to his task at hand. But we'll go deeper into the relationship. So I just want to bring you back on, brother. Tariq Haskins, my brother, you hear me? Tariq.
Yes, I am Tyreek. I am a Black Panther. I am a former member of the Black Liberation Army. I spent 17 years in various American death camp prisons as a prisoner of war. So free all political prisoners. And I want to say to the audience, I love you because you are intelligent. You are studying what is going on in the world. And it is because you have been doing the studying that you have decided to be in the audience today. Also, I love you because you being here says that you are courageous and you are here in spite of knowing that our enemies are very upset with all of us for learning what we need to know in order to survive. So free all political prisoners. And this is a good program. Thank you. Okay.
Absolutely, absolutely, brother. So one of the questions that I'm asking you right now is that relationship to so, I mean, Jonathan Jackson in relationships this generation. So what does your Jonathan Jackson mean to you, bro?
Okay, Jonathan Jackson is a very important person to me because he was being raised in a Negro atmosphere, and he should have turned out to be a Negro. But because George Jackson had re-Africanized himself, he was able to re-Africanize Jonathan Jackson. And because Jonathan Jackson was re-Africanized, he involved himself in the struggle. He loved his brother, and he involved himself in the revolutionary struggle, and he involved himself in an attempt to uh, the process of liberating his brother. So I love Jonathan Jackson for having been through that process and having become an African person, having been trained from being a Negro back into being an African person. So he is important for those two reasons, that he was retrained and he loved his brother.
Absolutely. My next question: what does he mean?
They cut you off, Frank. And the
I
second
said, what
question
does
is
he
what?
mean? And what does he? The next question I had for you is what does he mean in 2025? We see what's going on with the Palestinians, and right now it's testing the fact of each and every one of us. Like, position are we taking? Children are being killed, murdered. It's a genocide in place. And obviously, when we look at Jonathan Jackson and his relationship with his brother George, we see that George became conscious while in prison. He went from the criminal mentality to the revolutionary mentality. And he was not selfish with this information, with this knowledge, with this conscious process. He shared it with his brother, and he raised his brother's consciousness. And I think that, in 20 that should be the relationship that we have with our respect to the commitments of Jonathan Jackson. And so
So
I would
so
just raise the question: what, in your turn, in your opinion, your view, what do you think he should mean to people?
So in 2025, we have to know that it is that the revolution has component parts. And the first component part of the revolution is the re-education of the people. Because when you live in a capitalist environment, they are subjecting the people to a training process from the time that we open our eyes until the time that we close our eyes. And the Israelis know that the people, the Palestinian people and the Palestinian children have been raised by Palestinians, and they have they have correctly trained their people, and so the Israelis, the Zionists want to kill all Palestinians because they know they don't have control over the minds of the Palestinian people, that the Palestinian people control themselves. And that's why we in America want to know the importance of the component parts of the revolutionary struggle, and know that the retraining process should be regarded as the first step in in the revolutionary process. We have to retrain the people. We have to know that they have been subjected to a very intense training process, even though the American government don't admit that they have schools to train people, but they are doing it through the media. And so that revolutionaries want to know the training process and all that goes on with the training process, so that we can retrain our people and successfully complete step number one in the revolutionary process. That's why a lot of people are not showing up. They have been trained to love George Washington, even though George Washington was an aggressive racist. They have been trained to admire the president. What's his name? Uh, the president. They got a park named after him across from the White House. It's not Zachary Taylor. It's Andrew
George
Jackson.
Thomas. Oh, Andrew
Andrew
Jackson.
Jackson. Yeah, Andrew Jackson. They got a park named across from the White House named after him, and he was the president that put the indigenous people on a trail of tears and killed hundreds of little children and hundreds of elders. So these are the people that our people have been trained to have a high respect for, and these people are aggressive racists, and they have killed a lot of black people and non-white people, and they are criminals. They are the original gangsters. So that we have to first of all retrain our people so that they can stop loving people who are hating them and who have been killing them. And so that Jonathan Jackson in 2025 is an example of how people will proceed once they have been retrained. And he serves as a good example of that.
Then, so we go from reading these great books, right? So that brother and Blood of My Eye, written by George Jackson, we know relationship with his brother, and he dedicates the book to him, to the man child. He's speaking to Jonathan Jackson. So he grateful, black child, Jonathan in one hand, sword rifle, gorilla, and the scourge of destruction of the enemy.
He was breaking up, Frank. Frank, he was breaking up. But I can tell you this, Frank. One of the lessons that we learned from examining Jonathan Jackson is that we have to retrain our children so that our children will grow up to love their family members. And that's important. And it's important so that the enemy know the importance of it. And that's why in the movie, the Black Panther movie, the enemy was training our children that it's all right to fight against family members. And that's what a lot of what that movie, The Black Panther, was about. It's all right for family members to fight against each other because the enemy know how important it is for family members to love one another. And so we have to teach our children that they must love their other family members. All right, Frank?
Yes, yes,
Frank,
yes. I'm here.
go
You hear
ahead.
me, brother?
I hear you now. I'm missing out on you.
That is that, brother.
I'm missing out on you, Frank.
Oh, hold on. Let me give me 1 second. Let me. Uh, I'm gonna just have to continue until we resolve this technical difference. Deep apologies to those who are viewing. I'm sorry about the unfortunate challenge to consistent episode. We still have to get done with these relations is important. Talk about them. We understand that respect for not going to sit down and just wait for his brother about he had who commitment to that is do so. Brother, are you back on?
Peace. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, man. We had some technical issues.
So I want to say that for the people to create,
Yes, let's go.
okay,
Yes, speak.
for the people to have created the month of Black August, that's very important because it is an indication that they had retrained themselves, and that retraining themselves and gave them the clarity of mind to create Black August, and it gave them the clarity of mind to know who the real heroes are, that political prisoners are the real heroes for Black people, and that persons like Jalil El-Amin, Kamal Siddiqui, Kenny Zulu Whitmore, and Mumia Abu Jamal, these are political prisoners, and these are the real heroes of black people in America. As I pointed out, our people are being trained to think of George Washington, Andrew Jackson, persons like that as the heroes for black people, and those are they are two of the original gangsters. They are not the heroes for black people, so that it is necessary for Black people to retrain themselves, to re-Africanize themselves.
And I think these book, and I know when I first read Soul and I, it made me realize, what if more brothers read how those brothers' mind reality? A lot of our and they're extremely frustrated and angry, and they don't know about enemy is, right? You hear call some people like them or the same economic position they are. And if they really know what's happening, the structure, they would know who their true ops are. And this is why brother Jackson is became active. He's on the defense committee, played his part. And I think that's not something that love is active. You have to act and you to demonstrate that. And George Jackson is to his family, he is expressing.
Peace. You broke up, Frank.
Apply to their reality. What was your feeling when you first read Blood in My Eye?
I'm not familiar with him.
By Jackson.
I'm sorry, Frank, you breaking up.
Oh, Blood in My Eye by George Jackson.
Yes, I read Blood in My Eye, and my thing was that George Jackson, that Blood in My Eye is a book where he addressed many issues in that book. And when he addressed those issues, each issue that he addressed tells me that he had retrained himself from being a Negro and back into being an African person. And then he went on to learn English, he learned economics, he learned political science. So in each issue that George addressed in the book and Blood in My Eye, I regard it as very impressive because it said that he had retrained himself or trained himself to learn all of those things, and he was doing that not in a school setting, but he was acquiring the books and learning it on his own. So that was Blood in My Eye was a very impressive book.
And it's funny because, like, nowadays we don't have no excuse about not having access to a book, right? For instance, in preparation for today's episode, in one of their rooms to air this podcast. I'm at the Central Library in Brooklyn, and I was able to to borrow for this episode, Soul Dad Brother. I do have it, my own copy is in storage, so it's away from here. So I was avoiding that trip. But it's just, I use that as an example of people, get a library card, borrow the book, make sure that they have it accessible to you, read the book, and decide that you're going to share that information with others. You can have a political education session amongst your peers, right? You could do it online. You could do it wherever you're comfortable at doing it. The point is to utilize what is around you to raise consciousness and decide, how do you move forward with what you're learning about a particular episode.
That's
And
correct. And our people don't have to go to college to acquire the skills that they need for the liberation process. They can just go to the library and check the book out and still learn the same information. So they don't have that as an excuse. I didn't go to college. You don't need to go to college. You can go to the library and check out the particular book that will teach you what you need to know. And so that's what I did for the most part. When I was in my 17 years in jail, I used to read 250 pages a day. So I would get the book and read it, and but I wasn't in no class. I was studying revolution, and they don't teach revolution in the classroom. And so, but I was able to learn what I needed to know by acquiring the books.
absolutely. One thing, yes, and please excuse us for our technical difficulties. We have to make adjustments wherever we at. It's very important that we remain consistent with this because this platform is necessary, it's needed to raise awareness about our political prisoners. We want you to write to a political prisoner. If you don't have the information on a political prisoner, I provided the addresses. If you missed that, contact me at 347-679-3936. I can give you the address. I can connect you with people who have even more information than I do on our political prisoners. You see the technical difficulties. You see the challenges we have certain times with doing an episode. The point is that we are being consistent. We are producing an episode that lets you know that this is the time to think about a political prisoner. Find one to write to. This is Black August. Make a commitment to write to a political prisoner. Black August is about political prisoners. So we need to step up and do that task. I have to even do more work on political prisoners in terms of writing to political prisoners. So I'm going to find another political prisoner and I'm going to write to this month. I'm still waiting to hear back from Ronald Reed. It's been some time, but at least he did give me a package. And if anybody's interested in the content of that package, there's just documents. I could provide that to you. Brother, I know that this is not your first Black August. What was your feeling when you first learned about Black August?
Well, I learned about Black August while I was in prison. I was a member of a group called the African Cultural Society, and we would have some kind of program on that, and we would encourage our people to re-Africanize themselves. And I think probably at one of the Black August ceremonies, that's when I took the name Tariq, so that we learn about Black August, and we try to have a ceremony every year dealing with Black August to encourage our people to retrain themselves from being a Negro and then involving themselves in the liberation process. And we want to know that the liberation process can be broken down into component parts. And the first component part is we have to re-Africanize ourselves, retrain ourselves from having the American mentality back into having an African mentality. And then we will clearly see what our situation is and what each of us must do. And then we can free ourselves. Power to the people.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's that episode for today. If you have Harlem, stop by 310 West 139th Street. Again, that's 310 West 139th Street. We'll be out there from the hours of 5 p.m., 9 p.m. See us in the street. Let's talk. Let me know what you think about the episode. Again, my number is 347-679-3936. If you're interested in doing some political prisoner work, I got some work for you. I got an assignment for you. Love to have you aboard. Love to utilize your talents. You know the call. Free them all. Peace and love,
Free them
everybody.
all. Free them all.
Never see Indians live proud and free before the oppressor's slavery. Black people live proud and free. How many more? Tell me now. How many more? Don't you stand on the sidelines and say you're not involved. Don't try to convince yourself that these problems don't affect you at all. Because now it's Lebanon, Azania, Grenada. How many more? Tell me now. How many more? Don't you stand on the sidelines and watch your children go off to war. Don't stand back and wait for this violence